Alright, this is Optic, and gonna show you how to set up some networking settings to make your network run smoother if you're having collisions. This is in response to Captain Underpants' thread. Um, a lot of these collisions are going to come when you try to statically set up your network. And that's because you forget, you don't know, and you create collisions, or the router tries to assign one that you've statically assigned, and it just creates a mess. So the first thing you need to do is log into your router. To do that, you're going to type ipconfig, which is going to give you this information. You may have more than this. I have all my other network adapters disabled so they don't show up. But the default gateway is going to be your router or your access point, whether you're Wi-Fi or whatever. The only difference would be this would say like Wi-Fi, whatever. The IPv4 address here is your PC. That's, or whatever device you're using to look at this network information. If you're on your PS3 or whatever, or your 360 and you're looking at your network settings, the IP address will be that box. Now these two things, assuming you're on the same network, should be the same. And okay, so a little explanation here. This number 135 or 1 is the box identifier. So 135 is the number that is assigned to my computer. And how we know that is 255, 255, 255 marks this, this, and this as the network identifier. So I'm on a 10.0.0 network with the machine identifier marked by the 0 of 135. So if I had 0 here, then I could have this many machines. I could assign two different things here, and it gets complicated from that. But that's how you know. This number has to be unique. If this number is shared by any other computer, the router will detect a collision. One of those machines will be disconnected from the network temporarily while it reassigns. If you're all statically connected or statically configured to the same number, the router cannot reassign a new number, and you constantly get collisions. So in the case of Captain's PS3, he's okay when he's the only one on because he's the only one on with 135. But as soon as his dad logs on with 135, or whatever it is, the router has to decide one or the other to kick off or keep on. And it seems like in his case that the router is deciding to keep the new one and kick the old one. So that is what's causing, most likely, what is causing his log off. So, okay, we have this. So we come back here, dot one. I already logged in before, so here I am. DHCP, Dynamic Host Control Protocol, it's automatically assigning IPs out within this range, 100 to 149. This can all be changed, but why change it? It's okay. Anyway, so we're all set up here. Now, if you want to statically assign using the router, it's a little better because it's one spot for your entire network to statically assign IP addresses to machines. This is a Cisco Linksys. Captain said he also had a Linksys, so it should be a similar layout to this. If it's an older firmware, it may be different. But you want to come to DHCP reservation, and this is going to be the screen that you're going to be looking at. So here's my PC, my MAC address. You can put this MAC address right here. So you'd copy this. Also, you can get your MAC address from here. We got to find it now. Right here, physical address. So this should also be listed in your PS3 or 360 settings, in your network settings. It should give you a physical address. It may actually even say MAC address, but that is what you need to put right here. And then here you can assign an IP address. It needs to be between 2 and 254. It doesn't, and it needs to be unique. So you can kind of see what's hooked up right now on my network: a printer, my wife's PC. It's not showing any of my Wi-Fi clients for some reason, but whatever. Then from there, you enter in a client name, Captain's PS3, whatever, add. That means that whenever that MAC address, which is unique to your machine, hooks to the network, it will be assigned that address, and you can add however many you have in your network. It's as simple as that. Then over in applications and gaming, notice 135 is my IP. I'm forwarding 28.960. As far as I know, you can't push this to multiple boxes on a home router. You can try to double this up, so you'd put 28.960 and forward it to another IP. It may split it. It probably won't. So as far as opening with multiple on the network, you may have some issues there. But as far as getting both to connect at the same time, this should fix it for you. If forwarding like this causes one of the PS3s or 360s to be strict, I would actually take off the port forward, given the settings that we set up before, and see if you can get open like that. If worse comes to worse, one of you is going to have open and the other one's going to have strict or moderate. It's just the way it is. Anyway, but that's how you set up a DHCP reservation so that you don't get collisions, but yet you can still have them set up. You don't need to mess with your DNS. You don't need to mess with your subnet mask. All that's handled by the router. It's really not that important for you, except for in assigning a manual one. If it's 3 like this, the only one you need to assign is the last 3. Anyway, any questions, leave it in that forum in Captain's thread, and we can take care of it, try to move on. Thanks.